Hello everyone, I am Golden Yashwini. I am here to present policy formulation process. On completion of this video, students will be able to explain how is policy formulated in an organization, and also students will be able to explain what is the function of policy formulation, and also they can explain what are the process steps in policy formulation. Okay, in this slide we are going to see the policy formation process steps. So first one is definition of policy area. The initial step in policy formulation is to specify the area in which the policies are formulated. During this process, the objectives, needs and environment of the organization should be kept in mind. So the second one is creation of policy alternatives. So by analyzing the internal and external environment of the enterprise carefully, the opportunities and constraints, strength and weakness are identified. On the basis of such analysis, the policy alternative for each objective can be identified. That is creation of policy alternatives. Then the third one is evaluation of policy alternatives. So each of the policy alternatives is evaluated in terms of its contribution to objectives. The various factors such as cost, benefits and resource required should be considered in evaluating alternatives. Then the fourth one is choice of policy. So choice of policy, after evaluation of each policy alternatives, the most appropriate alternative is selected for implementation. So it is a step of policy making. Then the fifth one is communication of policy. So the chosen policy is communicated to those responsible person for its implementation. So the policy may be communicated through policy manuals, company handbooks and written memorandums. So then the next one is the implementation of policy. Okay, in between the communication of policy and review policy, we have the another step, implementation of policy. Then that is nothing but the chosen policy is then put into action by converting it into operational plan. So implementation of policy is required for policy education, and then interpretation and acceptance. Then the last one is review of policy. So policy should be reviewed periodically to facilitate the rapid changes in the environment. Without such review, policies become obsolete over the period of time. These are the process. Then the next one is planning premises. According to Notes and Weyrich have defined the planning premises as planning premises or the anticipated environment in which plans are expected to operate. Then according to C.B. Gupta, planning premises are the critical factor which lay down the boundary for planning. So that's nothing but planning premises are generally plans are prepared for future, right? So but the future is uncertain, therefore the management makes certain assumptions about the futures. So these assumptions should be derived from scientific forecasting of future events. So the assumptions about future derived from forecasting and used in planning are known as the planning premises. They include assumption or forecast of the future and known conditions that will affect the operation of plans. So planning premises guide planning. One of the major purpose of premises is to facilitate the planning process by guiding, directing, simplifying and reducing the degree of uncertainty in it. So effective planning is therefore largely dependent on the correct knowledge and choice of planning premises. Okay, this is planning premises. Then the classifications. Okay, the classifications of planning premises. We have three planning premises. What are that? Internal and external. Second one is tangible and intangible. Then the third one is controllable and uncontrollable. So first one is internal and external premises. internal premises exist within the business enterprise. Okay, so internal premises include purpose, mission, experience of management, and management values which determine the organizational commitment to social responsibility. They also include resources and the ability of enterprise in the form of men, material, machine, and money, and methods. So, competence of management personnel and skill of the labor force may be regarded as the most important internal premises. Then, external premises. External premises are those which lie outside the firm. Okay, there are many kinds of external premises, like general business environment, including economic, technological, political, and social conditions. The product marketing consisting of the demand and supply forces for the product or services, or we can say the factory market for production resources such as land, labor, capital, etc. These are external premises. Then the second one is tangible and intangible premises. So tangible premises are those which can be experienced in quantitative terms such as unit of product, labor hour, machine hour, and so on. So intangible premises are those which cannot be measured quantitatively. So the example of such premises is the reputation of the concern, then public relations, employee moral, motivation, etc. These are tangible and intangible premises. Then the last one is controllable and uncontrollable premises. So in this classification is one of the basis of controllability. So controllable premises are those which are entirely within the control and realm of management. So they include organizational policies, structures, systems, procedure, and etc. Such premises are mostly internal. So the management may change these premises whenever they recur according to circumstances in order to achieve the organizational objectives. Then uncontrollable premises. Uncontrollable premises are those which cannot be controlled by an organization action. Okay, they include the rate of economic growth. Then we can say population growth, taxation policy of government, natural climate, war, etc. Some premises can be controlled to some extent but not fully. Such premises are called semi-controllable premises. Example, union management relations, then market share of company's product, labor efficiency, product price, etc. Okay, these are the classifications of planning premises. Next one, quiz questions. Quiz question for who are listening this. The assumptions about future derived from forecasting and used in planning are known as DAS. We have four options: planning premises, freehold premises, business premises, and corporation premises. That just think about it and answer it. Okay. Then second one is employees will be promoted on the basis of seniority is an example of DAS. The four options are rules, procedures, and policy methods. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, students.